We're moving to the level 4 question. I think this is a good challenge question. I kind of like this question. Really shows how much you understand. Will the sum of two expressions, each with a variable, always, sometimes, or never have a variable when simplified? So what I would recommend you do, and it's kind of implied here too, is provide examples. You're going to have to use mathematical vocabulary, so you might have a list of examples here, and then you might have your wrap response over here, okay? And then you'll have a final answer, which we're going to build our examples before we jump into conclusion, whether it's sometimes, never, or always. Okay, so here's some examples. I'm going to create some expressions. So I've got 2m plus another expression that's 3n. Well, can I simplify this? No. So at this point, it is simplified. So its response, simplified, does it still contain variables? It does still contain variables. Is that always going to be the case? Whenever I take two expressions, I combine them. Well, they always have variables. So I'm taking the same kind of example, but now I got 2m plus 3m. Well, that gives me 5m's. I still have a variable. Will I always have a variable? Okay. Well, we've kind of eliminated never, right? Because we've just created two examples already that have a variable. Is there ever a situation when we don't have a variable? So I'll try something here. We'll go 4m plus a negative 4m. Well, that equals 0. So is there a variable involved? The final answer, simplified, does not contain a variable. So it's not an always situation. It does happen that we can get a variable, but the answer is sometimes. Now, it doesn't really say, it says the sum is addition, but it didn't clarify whether we can add all positive numbers like we have 2 and plus 3, but we can have a sum with a negative number involved, and that allows us to actually have an answer without a variable. So you'll talk about those things in your wrap response. Trying to think, but yeah, I think that just concludes it. We give an example for always, sometimes, and we're able to eliminate never. In the never case, I guess, is something like, well, 3m plus 4m just equals 7, and we don't have a variable. Well, that is never going to happen, right? It's not the case.